The past few winters have been quite severe in this area. I wouldn't call them life-threatening, but we've had a lot of snow and it's been bitterly cold, making the season feel longer than it really was. People have been wondering when we're going to get to our share of the global warming. So when spring arrives abruptly, I think I appreciate it a little more. Maybe it's just my advancing age. At any rate, I was sitting on the back steps, enjoying the simple pleasure of the afternoon sun for the first time in many months, and I caught myself staring at a plant in a pot there on the steps. I was looking at the green leaves of the plant. They seemed to be sparkling and shimmering in that profuse sunlight, and I was very conscious of the fact that they were alive, industrious. Even as I was looking at them, they were going about the business of using that sunlight to live and grow, and from that I jumped to a line from one of Dylan Thomas's poems, the opening line, which I did not recall completely until I looked it up, and it goes, "The force that through the green fuse drives the flower." Wow, and there I was, looking at it, just exactly that. I could very easily see that in the plant beside me, something more akin to a miracle than a basic activity of nature. And I decided that I would learn something, just a little, dip a toe in, about photosynthesis. I knew I'd studied it in school, but as with most of what I encountered there, including Dylan Thomas, it didn't matter much to me then, and did not make much of an impression on me. I was young, I had more to do than try and fathom photosynthesis. Now I wanted to know, and that makes all the difference when it comes to learning. Photosynthesis means light putting together, or light assembling, from existing matter, larger molecules, and finally, life, a collection of molecules that can grow and reproduce. This happens because of the energy in light, operating on certain bits of matter, most often water, H2O, and carbon dioxide, CO2. In this process, energy from sunlight is converted into chemical energy, which is stored in carbohydrate molecules, that is, molecules comprised of carbon and hydrogen, such as sugars like glucose, and these are synthesized, put together from CO2 and H2O, with oxygen being released as a byproduct of the reaction into the atmosphere. Of course, it's more complicated than that, and I'm not going to get into the intricacies. As the process begins, energy from the sunlight is absorbed by proteins that contain green chlorophyll pigments, which exist in chloroplasts, most abundant in leaf cells. Some of that energy is used to strip electrons from water, releasing oxygen, and leaving hydrogen ions which will bond with carbon dioxide to form more complex molecules, the carbohydrates. These sugars are produced by a series of light-independent reactions called the Calvin cycle. The average rate of energy capture in plant life on the planet is estimated to be 3 times the power consumption of human beings. Somewhere just over 100,000 million tons of carbon are converted into biomass each year. Biomass, that's the plant beside me on the steps, and us, eventually. So there I am, looking at my leafy plant in a pot on the back steps, soaking up the sun, and while I just sit there, the plant is very active, a veritable engine. It's taking that light and using it to combine chemically, electronically, carbon dioxide and water, releasing oxygen, which makes my life possible, as well as, following a series of reactions, sugars, which again make life possible. Is it any wonder that the ancients worshipped the sun and considered it a god? I wonder if the operation of sunlight caused matter to turn into animal life. That would not surprise me at all. When you get down to our cells, the mitochondria, the other vital components, somehow sunlight kick-started all of that. The operation of energy on matter, I'm sure of it. But it is singularly true that plants have this remarkable interaction with sunlight, using and converting its energy, while we, who consider ourselves to be much more advanced than, say, a few blades of grass or a weed, have considerable difficulty capturing any energy at all from light. The sun, giver of light, warmth, energy, life. I can only repeat the words of the poet. The force that through the green fuse drives the flower. Sunlight.